Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Julius Caesar. I stand before you again to explain why I'm history's greatest leader. I began my journey into history books as a war general. During the siege of Mytilene, which was fought in response to Mytilene aiding pirates that threatened to destroy the Mediterranean, I successfully guided soldiers to victory and was awarded the civic crown in honor of the Roman military. This victory catapulted me through the ranks of Rome, as it shined a light on my abilities as strategist and leader. As general, I successfully stabilized many nations around Rome and brought them under Roman control. I led the Roman military against many nations, against the superior Gallic tribes in present-day France and England. Under my superior leadership, I defeated the tribes and secured the Roman border. I then established a king for the tribes, which brought them together and stabilized the region. I even allowed for the conquered peoples to obtain full Roman citizenship and protection. In the Great Roman Civil War, I saved the entirety of Rome against destruction by Pompey, though my troops were outnumbered 2-1. Following this war, I became the sole leader of Rome and ushered in a new era of security and prosperity. Some say that I unfairly declared myself dictator, but the entirety of Rome voted for me to be dictator, which was a title that was accepted and practiced in ancient Rome. As dictator, I reconstructed cities that had been destroyed by the Roman Republic, even though I was not part of this destruction. I believe it to be the just and mean thing to do for those who had been affected by the war. Some say I was not a humane man, but it must be pointed out that all my soldiers were treated with utmost respect, and I often fought on foot with them. As for our enemies, if they are compliant, I showed them respect and mercy, offered my veterans financial aid and assistance, and offered the poor land and food so that no Roman would go hungry. I also settled the debts of the old Roman Republic and completely cut the tax system to promote commerce. Sadly, I was assassinated by conspirators in the Senate. My assassination, considered as one of the most cowardly acts in the world, and enticed to many riots. Some say that I was killed by friends, and this is a bad thing, but my assailants were condemned for their acts and hunted down by the full force of Rome. My impact as leader was so large that upon my death, the entirety of the world mourned. With all these wondrous acts I've committed, some say that they are better leaders than I. These two men are Simon Bolivar and my stepson, Augustus Caesar. First, I must focus on Bolivar, as this man is by no means a better leader than I. Bolivar appeared on the world stage during the Spanish-American Wars of Independence. During the war, Bolivar displayed his first act of cowardice. The man turned over Francisco de Miranda to the Spanish. Miranda and Bolivar set up the first Venezuelan republic together. Because of this, Miranda was considered Venezuela's greatest patriot. However, as the Spanish closed in on the failing republic, Bolivar turned Miranda in. Miranda died in prison shortly after, all because Bolivar betrayed Miranda to save himself. Following this outrageous act, Bolivar joined the Latin American nations together to create Gran Colombia. At first, Bolivar promised the citizens a full democracy. However, the man betrayed his followers and established a lifetime presidency. This hypocritical act earned him many enemies and showed his disregard to his people. Bolivar stepped down as president in disgrace and watched as Latin America plummeted into the chaos it experiences today. Bolivar failed in his only goal and left his followers in poverty. That is no leader, that is a failure. The man even attempted to leave in exile to Europe. He did not live in disgrace long though, as he died after his failure. Some theorize that he was poisoned by his wife, but we cannot ask her, as I'm not even certain who his wife is. It's hard to know when he has had relations with half the population of Venezuela. This man is the ultimate failure. If this were a tournament of womanizing disappointments, I know who the winner would be. As for you, my dear Augustus, it is time that you learn your place. When people hear the name Caesar, they think of me, not you. I obviously had a greater historical impact than you. For you to even consider yourself a better leader than me is paradoxical. How can you be a better leader than me, my child, if I was the most influential leader in your life? You even built a temple for me and added Divi Filius, which means son of the divine, to your name in reference to me. Augustus, you wage out full-out war against Brutus because you idolize me so much. Because of this, my child, every negative thing you've been saying about me behind my back must be rendered void, as you adored everything I stood for. I, however, do not adore everything that you stood for. I left you my empire in perfect condition, and yet a famine occurred in Rome during your rise to power. How can you explain this, my son? I gave you an empire, and you heard it. My child, you're not a better leader than I. If you continue to think that you are, just remember, I forged the great empire that you inherited. I created the Roman world, and you simply lived in it. It is time that you learn your place, son, and time for you to accept mine. I am history's greatest leader. I am the divine Julius.